Santorini, Greece. This island is the site of one of the largest volcano eruptions in recorded history. About 3,600 years ago, the volcano erupted, causing an enormous tsunami which hit the island of Crete, leading to the eventual downfall of the Minoan civilization. Now, Santorini is a water-filled crescent, the remains of this ancient volcano. The towns of Oia, Fira, and Imerovigli are all perched along the rim of the caldera. There are more churches than houses on the island, although most of these are very small and private. Incredible sunsets, pearly white buildings adorned with bougainvillea, blue-domed churches, and picturesque windmills make Santorini a sought-after destination. This Greek paradise attracts newlyweds and couples from around the globe, eager to witness its famed sunsets of Oia, swim in hot springs, savor its cuisine, and indulge in luxurious resorts. Whether you fly in or take the ferry from the other islands, it's impossible to miss the striking view of the mostly submerged caldera, volcanic crater, visible from quaint settlements atop lava-layered cliffs. The whitewashed settlements of Fira and Oia are the island's most alluring destinations. In between the two towns, small villages cling to the cliff tops, offering quieter and more relaxed settings for your vacation. Santorini has more to offer than incredible vistas and multicolored beaches. This island is also home to ancient archaeological sites and museums that are worth exploring. Get yourself an ATV or a smart car and set about experiencing the rugged island on undulating roads. Just be prepared to stop at every corner, as the views are never-ending. Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Here are the 10 best places to visit in Santorini, Greece. First, make sure to subscribe to the channel for more similar content. Let's dive in. 1. Fira. The capital of Santorini, Fira, is made up of whitewashed cubic houses and terraces, winding lanes, little squares, and blue-domed churches perched on the cliffs 300 meters above the caldera. From the small port of Scala, Fira can be reached either by walking or riding. Mules are for hire, up the steep and winding stepped path, 587 steps, or by taking the cable car. It can also be reached from neighboring towns via the Fira to Oia scenic trail that takes you along the caldera cliff. Ferries dock at the port of Athenios, connected to Fira by road, while cruise ships put down anchor in the caldera and passengers are transported to Scala by tender. Fira lives principally from tourism, and many of its buildings now serve as small hotels, apartments, restaurants, cafes, souvenir shops, and jewelers. 2. Oia. Oia is known for its famed sunsets that attract tourists from around the world. Located on the northern tip of Santorini, 12 kilometers up the coast from Fira, Oia is a picture-perfect village of whitewashed houses, several of which have been converted into chic little boutique hotels with infinity pools overlooking the caldera. Like Fira, it lives from tourism, but caters to a more upmarket clientele. From Amudi Bay, steep paths zigzag up to the town, where you'll find a row of waterfront seafood eateries, many with alfresco dining. Oia can be reached by local KTEL bus, or by walking the trail along the cliffs high above the caldera. Allow 3 hours from Fira. 3. Caldera. Formed by the massive volcanic explosion that blew the center out of the island some 3,600 years ago, the caldera is the sea-filled volcanic crater that remained. Measuring 12 kilometers by 7 kilometers, it is still home to volcanic activity. In its center rise the two Kaimani islets, with hot springs and gas emissions. Various agencies offer one-day excursions of the caldera by boat, including time to bathe in the hot springs and then have lunch on Thracia, a tiny island on the west side of the caldera, affording amazing views back to Santorini across the water. 4. Akrotiri Archaeological Site. Near the village of modern Akrotiri, 12 kilometers southwest of Fira, the ancient Minoan settlement of Akrotiri was buried below lava following the 16th century BC volcanic explosion that created the caldera. At the Akrotiri Archaeological Site, visitors can walk on pathways through the debris of the town to see remains of the clay buildings of this once thriving town. It is so well preserved that it's often compared to Pompeii. The site has remnants of multi-level buildings, pottery, and drainage systems, proving that Santorini was a flourishing and prosperous island before the eruption and probably lived from shipping and trading. Santorini's connections with North Africa can be deduced from the outstanding frescoes, most of which are now in the National Archaeological Museum in Athens, that decorated its houses. The site of the Akrotiri ruins reopened to the public in 2012 following several years of closure. 5. Red Beach. Nearby to Akrotiri site, you will find the famous Red Beach below a spectacular red cliff wall. The beach is accessible along a path from the town of Akrotiri. You can also take a bus from Fira or drive and park nearby before venturing down a rocky path to reach the beach. The beach is also accessible by boat from Akrotiri, Kamari, and Parissa ports. The small beach gets crowded during the summer, so be sure to get there early to snag a prime spot for great contrasting views of the red rocks against the aquamarine water. Also note that the beach is prone to landslides, and sections have been roped off from visitors. 6. Ancient Fira. See the ruins of Hellenistic temples and foundations of Roman and early Byzantine buildings at Ancient Fira, located on the southeast coast of Santorini. Ancient Fira dates back to the 9th century BC. Among the ruins, you'll find religious sites, a theater, a gym for military trainees, and old administrative buildings. Finds from the site are also displayed in the Archaeology Museum of Fira. 7. Archaeological Museum Fira. Lying close to the upper station of the cable car in Fira, the small archaeological museum displays finds from ancient Fira, ranging from the Dorian, Hellenistic, Roman, and Byzantine periods. Inscriptions dating from the Archaic to the Roman period, clay figurines of animals, and beautiful ceramic pottery are some of the finds exhibited at this museum. 8. Museum of Prehistoric Fira. The Museum of Prehistoric Fira displays finds from Akrotiri archaeological site in a modern white building located close to the 1950s Metropolis Church in Fira. One of the top tourist attractions is the Blue Monkey's wall fresco. Other ancient artworks on display include marble figurines, painted ceramics, tools, and weapons. 9. Take a Santorini boat trip. A great way to get a feel for Santorini, and another of its top tourist attractions, is to explore the island on a day-long boat trip. This way, you'll have an opportunity to check out a number of attractions in one go, and also take in the gorgeous turquoise and aquamarine waters surrounding the volcanic isle. A number of companies run boat tours around Santorini, and many follow the same route. One popular cruise takes you first to the still active volcano on Nia Kamini, where you can hike to the crater's summit. You'll then pause for a dip in the Palia Kamini hot springs. Trips then head to Thracia Island fronting Santorini. For a more luxe experience, this trip can be booked on a catamaran and on these. You'll also get to make 3 swimming and snorkeling stops. 10. Prophytis Ilias. From Pyrgos, a road runs to the summit of Mount Prophytis Ilias, 584 meters, Santorini's highest point, affording panoramic views of the island and out across the sea. Here stands the mighty Prophytis Ilias Monastery, an 18th century sanctuary that is open to the public. Inside, you can see the church, with a richly carved iconostasis. Visit the museum displaying the mitre and crozier of Patriarch Gregory V, who was hanged in Constantinople by the Turks in 1821. Also of interest are the library, the monastic archives, and the kitchen. The monastery ran one of the many secret schools operated during the Turkish period. That was all from us today, folks. For more similar content, make sure to subscribe to the channel. See you in the next one.